Welcome back, guys. In this video we have been given a question which says on the screen, a spur gear has the following parameters: a pressure angle of 20 degree, a module of 10 millimeter, and a number of teeth of the spur gear is actually 25. So now what we are asked to do is to construct its involute gear teeth profile, and also we are asked to show all calculations right on our drawing paper. So first of all, we are going to draw this border as we can see right here, given these parameters. Okay, we are going to label our pressure angle as 20 degree as given on the question. The module is 10 millimeter. The number of teeth is 25 millimeter. So the next thing we are going to do is to calculate our pitch circle diameter. In order to calculate our pitch circle diameter, we are going to be writing it here. I'm going to use the short form, but in your work please ensure you write it fully. That is pitch circle diameter. This is PCD. We have been given the pitch circle diameter formula to be our module times the number of teeth. That's times the number of teeth. Okay, so in this question we have been given our module to be 10 millimeter and our number of teeth to be 25. So that is going to be 250. That is 250 millimeter. So that is our pitch circle diameter. Okay, so now what we are going to do is to draw a straight line. Draw a straight line like this, a thin straight line. Okay, then we are going to pick a point right on the straight line which we have drawn. I'm going to pick this particular point here and label it as my point O. Okay, from this point O we have been given the PCD to be 250 millimeter. So we are going to pick half of it, which is the pitch circle radius. I'm going to pick 12.5 millimeter on my compass. This is 12.5. Okay, so from this point O right here, which is right here, point O here, I'm going to draw an arc like this. Okay, I'm going to draw an arc like this. Okay, I'm going to label this arc as my pitch. This is my PCD. Let me just shorten it. This is my PCD. Okay, this is 12.5 millimeter right from this my point O. Now what I'm going to be doing next is to draw a line which is tangential to this particular line here, which this particular arc here which we have drawn. So I'm going to pick my pencil and draw like this, in this manner, a tangential line to this curve which we have drawn here. So it's going to go thus like this. Okay, so that's that for the pitch circle diameter. I'm going to write 250 here. I'm going to write 250 millimeter right here. Okay, so now what we are going to be doing next is to draw our addendum. And our addendum is the radial height of the tooth above the PCD. That's our addendum. So in order to do that, we are going to calculate for addendum here. Okay, this is addendum here. We have been given addendum, our addendum, to be equals to our module. Okay, our addendum is equals to our module. So, and we have been given our module to be 10. So our addendum is equals to 10 millimeter. Okay, that's 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter from the PCD. 10 millimeter from the PCD, that is above the PCD. So I'll pick my compass right from this point O here. Okay, right from this point O, I will extend it to this point here, which is given as my addendum. Okay, then I'll draw an arc like this. Okay, so let's label this as addendum. Please ensure you are labeling all parts of your curve. So you won't get confused while you are drawing the remaining. So addendum is 10 millimeter. Let's write our 10 millimeter right here. Let's write our 10 millimeter here. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be finding is our clearance. And what is our clearance? Our clearance is the difference between the addendum and the dedendum. So in order to find our clearance, let's write clearance here. That is the third calculation we are going to be making. Our clearance is 0.25 times the module. 0.25 times module. This 0.25 is actually a constant, so it will be same for everything. Is actually a constant. Okay, so 0.25 times 10, that's going to give us 2.5 millimeter. Okay, so let me write my 2.5 millimeter here first. 2.5 millimeter. Okay, so the next thing we are going to be doing is to find the dedendum. Okay, so dedendum is the next thing we are going to be finding. In order to find our dedendum, that is addendum plus clearance. Like I said earlier on, I said clearance is the difference between the addendum and dedendum. So dedendum is going to be addendum plus clearance. So that is going to be what? Our addendum is 10 millimeter plus 2.5, that is 12.5 millimeter. That is our dedendum, 12.5 millimeter. Then measure 12.5 millimeter from this piece circle diameter. 12.5, our 12.5 is going to be here. 12.5 is going to be right here. Then from point O, pick my compass. From point O, which is right here, I would extend my compass to this point, then draw an arc. Okay, so this is our dedendum. So I'm going to write my 12.5 here for our dedendum. 12.5 millimeter. All right, so now what we are going to be doing right next is to find the base circle diameter. There are actually two methods for finding the base circle diameter, and I'm actually going to be showing you the two methods right in this video, but I'm going to be making use of one for this particular video, but I'm going to be explaining the two methods. Okay, so the first method is to pick your protractor, place it at this center of the pitch circle diameter, this center here. Okay, this center here. Then measure 20 degree. You might be asking how we got 20 degree. 20 degree is the pressure angle. Okay, 20 degree is the pressure angle. So from that point of 20 degree, you are going to draw a straight line passing through this middle. Okay, it's going to go like this. Just a straight thin line, please. A straight thin line passing through this middle. Okay, so this is 20 degree. After picking your 20 degree right here, okay, we are going to pick our compass, place it at point 0, then draw an arc which is going to be tangential to this line of 20 degree which we have drawn here. I'm going to place it at point 0. Okay, extend my compass to this line. Okay, then I'm going to draw an arc like this. Okay, this arc which I've drawn is what is my base circle diameter. Let me just use BCD to shorten it. Okay, so that is the first method which you can use to actually get it. That is the first method. Another method you can use is by using the formula. Okay, this is base circle diameter. We have been given a formula of base circle diameter to be our PCD times cos theta. Okay, PCD times cos theta. And what have we been given as our PCD? Our PCD is 250 times cos theta. What is our theta? Our pressure angle, cos 20 degree. Okay, so that is going to be, let me punch my calculator for that, 250 times cos 20 degree. Okay, that's going to give us 234.92 millimeter. Okay, that's our BCD. So we are going to write it right here. This is 234.92 millimeter. Okay, so how do we calculate it? Like we said in the beginning, PCD was 250 millimeter, but we made use of 12.5. So BCD also, which is 234, we are actually looking for the base circle radius. Base circle radius, which is going to be the base circle diameter divided by 2. So that's going to be 234.92 divided by 2. Let me punch that. Answer divided by 2. That's 117.46 millimeter. So that is going to be the distance from here to here. You can actually pick it on your compass. That's 11.7. You can pick your 11.7 millimeter from here, then draw your arc. So the way that we use 20 degree, let's take a look at the length it would give us right from this place. So this is actually giving me 11.7. This is actually giving me 11.7 on the dot, 11.7 millimeter, which means we are also near to this 107.46. Okay, so those are the two ways which you can do it. So the next thing we are going to be doing is to pick our point AE. Okay, so our point A is going to be on the addendum, which is this particular place. Then our point E is going to be on the base circle diameter, this particular line here. Okay, so we are going to be dividing this AE into three equal parts. We are not going to be using division of line method here. You are allowed to pick the point and then divide just naturally with your calculator by division. So we have been given AE as seen here to be what? To be 17 millimeter. So I'm going to pick 17 divided by 3. Okay, that's going to be 5.67. So I'm just going to do, we are dividing it in 1:3. So I'm just, that 5.67 is going to be around this place here. Okay, so this place, I'm going to label it as my point B. All right, this place I'm going to label it as my point B. So what we are going to be doing next is to draw tangential line from point B. The tangential line is going to be passing through our base circle diameter curve in this manner. It's going to be like this. Just draw a line tangential to this our base circle diameter line like this. Okay, this is the way it's going to be. So we are going to label any point. Let me label this point here, okay, as point F, or let me label it as my point D. All right, I'll label it as my point D. So what we are going to be doing now is to what? Is to divide point BD into 4 equal parts. Now we are dividing it in the ratio of 1:4. Okay, so I'm going to calculate the length of BD. Now length of BD is 5.2. BD is 5.2. So I'm going to pick 5.2 divided by 4. So that's going to give me 1.3. So I'm going to pick 1.3 upward. This is 1.3. All right, so I'm going to pick it like this. So I'll label this point as what? As my F. Okay, so that's that for that. Now what we are going to be doing right next is to pick our compass and extend from point O to point F to get our radial circle. to get our radial circle. So from this point O, I will extend it to point F here. Like this. Then draw like this. So this curve right here is our radial curve, like this. This is our radial curve. Okay, you extend from point O to point F, this place at which F is here. So that is what we are doing. Now we are going to pick our compass. Okay, we are going to pick our compass. Then from point F like this to point B, we are going to be drawing a profile arc, which is going to go thus, like this. Okay, this is our profile arc. So at this point where the profile arc is cutting our piece circle diameter, we are going to label this point as point C. Alright, we are going to label that point as our point C. So after finding our point C, the next thing we are going to do is to go back to our table and find our circular pitch. Okay, circular pitch. Let me write it here. And what is the formula for our circular pitch? Our circular pitch has been given as what? Pi times module. This is the formula for our circular pitch. And we have been given pi to be 3.142 times module. What's our module? 10 millimeter. This is 10 millimeter. Okay, so 3.142 times 10. 3.142 times 10 is going to give us 31.42. Okay, so that is for our circular pitch. Let's write it here. 31.42 millimeter. Okay, so what we are actually looking for is what? Is the circular tooth thickness. But to get the circular tooth thickness, we have to find the circular pitch. So in order to get the circular tooth thickness, the circular tooth thickness, let me use CTT, is equals to the circular pitch divided by what? Divided by 2. We have been given our circular pitch to be 31.42 divided by 2, which is going to be what? 31.42 divided by 2, 15.71. all right, it's going to be 15.71 millimeter. So let's write it here. 15.71 millimeter. Okay, so we are going to measure that 15.71 millimeter from our compass. We are going to measure it right here. 15.71. that will be close to 16, not up to 16. Then, making use of the circular tooth thickness, we are going to place it at point C. Okay, then we are going to strike an arc on our piece circle diameter. Okay, that curve of our piece circle diameter. Then place it here. I'm going to strike an arc like this. Okay, then place it here. Strike an arc. So this is one tooth, this is two tooths. Okay, then I'm going to do the same. You can strike as many as possible. I'm going to do the same for here. Strike an arc like this. Then for this part, strike an arc, then strike an arc also. Okay, for the purpose of this video, we are just going to be making use of just only 3. We are going to make use of 3 tooths. We are just going to be drawing only 3 tooths. You can still extend it a little bit more. Okay, depending on your instructor. Your instructor can ask you to draw as many as possible tooth, but for the purpose of this video we are just going to be drawing just 3. Okay, so now we are going to be drawing the tooth. Please kindly pay attention to this particular part. In order to draw the tooth, we are going to be making use of these curves which we have drawn here, and the radial curve and this radial curve. Okay, so this part like this, we have been given a curve like this, and in order to draw a tooth we need another curve that comes like this, okay, to form a tooth. So what we are going to be doing is to pick from our F here, we'll pick point from our F to D to B. We are using this length FB. Okay, that is what your compass is going to be on, FB. You are not changing the length, you are not changing anything. Then you place it at this second curve here. Okay, this curve here which I picked here, which is on the PCD. Then you strike an arc on your radial curve like this. Okay, when you strike an arc on your radial curve, like I said, you want to draw a curve that is what, that is like this. You place your compass right on your radial curve, which is this place. Okay, then you draw. So this is how it's going to be. This is one tooth like this. This is one tooth. Okay, so now we need to draw another tooth here. So this particular place is going to come like this. Okay, and in order to draw a curve that comes like this, your compass has to be around somewhere here, that is around this part, which is now going to make it to curve like this. So using that same length of FB, I'm going to place my compass on this second point here, then strike an arc here. This is the place. Okay, then making use of the same length, I'm going to draw a curve like this. Okay, then I'm going to place my compass at this second point here. We want to draw a curve that is like this. In order to draw a curve like this, your compass has to start from here in order to be able to draw a curve which is like this. So you are going to do what? You are going to place your compass from here. Okay, strike an arc on radial curve. Okay, then when you strike an arc on the radial curve, you place it at this point here. Then what you do, what you strike an arc like this. Okay, that's for the second tooth. Like I said, we are going to be doing only just three. Okay, so now we move upward. Okay, now to draw, we need an arc that is like this, right? Now to draw an arc that is like this, your compass has to start from here in order to be able to draw an arc that is like this. So from this point here, okay, you strike an arc on your radial curve. Then from this your radial curve, you are going to what? You are going to draw an arc which is like this. Okay, then you move straight to this place. You want an arc that is like this to form the third tooth. You move straight to this place, you strike an arc on your radial curve here. Okay, this point here on your radial curve, okay, you are going to place it here. Then you draw an arc like this. Like I said, you can do as many as possible depending on how many your instructor asked you to do. Okay, it's just depending on how many your instructor asked you to do. So what we are going to be doing is to pick our compass, then place it at our point O again. Then we extend it to this top. We just want to thicken this top out. Okay, we just want to thicken this top out. We thicken this part out. Okay, then we thicken this part out also like this. Okay, so that's that for the top. Now we are to what? We are to join the tooth together. We are to join the tooth together to form a what? To form a spur gear, involute spur gear. Okay, what we are going to calculate first is our wider. In order to do that, we are going to calculate our wider. And what is our wider? Our wider is the distance from one beginning point of a tooth to the corresponding beginning point of a tooth. Okay, that is our wider. So we are going to be calculating that like this, from here to this place. As you can see here, my own is actually giving me 3.6 millimeter. So I'm going to write it here. My wider is 3.6 Okay, let's use 36 millimeter. All right, so after getting our wider, which is 36 millimeter, we have to calculate for the what, for the fillet, which is going to be our last calculation, fillet. All right, our fillet, and the formula for calculating our fillet is what, is wider divided by 7. This 7 too is actually a constant. Okay, so we have been given our wider to be 36 divided by 7. So 36 divided by 7 will give us what, 5.14 millimeter. Okay, so I can write it here. This is 5.14 millimeter. All right, so we are going to pick that 5.14 millimeter. Our fillet is actually this place, so we are going to pick that 5.14 millimeter right on my compass. Okay, we are going to pick that 5.14, which is going to be like, it's going to be little, so that will be like 0.51, around 0.5,